This one begins with a personal story, with what I'll call Tales from the Trenches of Parenthood. Chapter 6, The Food of My People. Now, my daughter was 3 years old, and we had just had a very nice morning at the park. And so we went out to lunch to a noodle house where she tried sushi for the first time, and she liked it. But as we sat there sharing a platter of tekkemaki, she looked up at me and she said, "So am I Japanese?" "Well, you're half Japanese." "So I'm half Japanese and half regular." And I just kind of let it go. And I have no idea when this idea of regular was replaced in her head with white. Since we live in the Bay Area, it was very likely the following week. But all this came to my mind just recently when I went to the hardware store to buy some rope. Regular rope. White rope. The kind of rope that you would buy for a regular job. And it got me thinking about what it must be like to be rope of color. The kind of rope that's just as strong, just as flexible, but it isn't regular. Now, when I was growing up, dinner rolls were regular. Sushi rolls were us. The Beach Boys, they were regular. The story of Momotaro the Peach Boy, that was us. Now, I had seen every episode of The Brady Bunch, knew all the words to the Pledge of Allegiance, all those things that were a part of me. But somehow, it still didn't make me regular. Part Japanese, part regular. Now, magicians are irregular people. But when I was a kid, not very much older than my daughter was on that day, that was a group of people I wanted to be a part of. Since my very first trip to a magic shop when I was 8 years old. To me, a magic shop was this place of wonders. A place of miracles that could be bought for a very reasonable price. And as a kid, even though I was raised as a good Methodist, my Bible was the Magic Shop catalog, where I discovered such unique, exotic things as the Chenley water suspension. This, by the way, actually manufactured in Colon, Michigan. There was Buddha paper, note the spelling. That's probably because this one probably came from Azusa, California. And then, perhaps most vexing, the Jap Box, deluxe Jap Box. This one also from Colon, Michigan. So it was a surprise to me to discover that for a Japanese magician back in the 19th century, he may actually have had a soko nashi bako in his act. What he would have called not a Jap box, but a box without a bottom, soko nashi bako. Although it did have something of a removable bottom that came with it. And this soko nashi bako would have been used in the magic act of one Namigoro Sumidegawa, the first Japanese citizen to be granted a passport to enter America in 1866. It also might have been used by magicians like William Robinson of New York or David Bamberg of England, who performed under the stage names of Chung Ling Soo and Fu Manchu, with appropriate attire and makeup, of course. And then many years later, it became something that I was able to purchase myself, imported from Japan as a Soko Nachibako. Namigoro Sumidegawa, William Robinson, David Bamberg, and me. Magicians all through time. A chain of stories, a chain of circumstance leading to today.